Salt here. I am going to be deconstructing my song Late Night Drives today. So if you are one of my amazing, wonderful LDS family members, I would say probably don't watch this one if you don't want to hear anything negative about religion, because I do go into my religious trauma and I absolutely love you guys and I do not want to take you away from the church that you guys hold dear, but I just want to be able to talk about my experience. So if you don't want to hear that, you can skip out on this one. But for the rest of you, why don't you get ready with me while I talk about my religious trauma? Late Night Drives is basically a juxtaposition of religion and queerness based on the verse and chorus format. So the chorus is light and fun, and it's about, driving late at night with a pretty lady and just kind of seeing where it goes. I'm almost out of foundation. So I grew up Mormon, and I didn't realize I was queer because that just wasn't allowed. And so this song was a bit of me just processing that experience, and we'll get into the lyrics and talk about it, but I just wanted to juxtapose the fun beat, fun vibes with the kind of seriousness that the subject matter is, because in the past I had written a lot of songs that had kind of more serious topics and dark music, and that's not for everybody. And so I kind of wanted to make something a little bit more accessible, but still express myself and my experience. Yeah, being gay was not an option for me growing up in the church. It was pretty much the same thing as murder, sin level wise, and that was a hard thing to grow up believing, because anytime I just wouldn't allow myself to entertain any sort of those thoughts. I remember in high school, I'm like, girls are so much prettier than guys. Why do I have to like men? Like, all those kind of compet tendencies were super ingrained in me. Even though by then I had left the church, it was just so instilled in me that it continued on after. And I also joined a Christian congregation after I left Mormonism because I just didn't want to let go yet. And at this point I am an atheist, but I'm always open to like spirituality. Like sometimes I do tarot and stuff like that, but I usually see that as like more of a journaling prompt than like spirit guides and things like that. I do like to entertain that. It's fun for me, and it is something that feels more familiar, and so that's why I like to do that. Yeah, so Late Night Drives is my first queer song. The chorus, I already touched on that. It's kind of like the idea of a glamorous evening with a glamorous woman, and just kind of like driving with the windows down, listening to fun music, and just being in the moment, experiencing life. I wanted to express the opposite of masculinity, and so the woman that is painted in the song is very feminine. She's got, French nails, she's got red lips, and it's kind of questioning, like, do I want her to be sweet and soft and feminine, or do I want to go back to feeling the harshness of masculine and kind of like the not so niceness that can often come with that? I'm not saying all the time, I'm just saying sometimes, they can be a little bit more aggressive and hard, but that's also because of society, and it doesn't let men feel their feelings, which I can empathize with as well, but that's a topic for another day. But that was the kind of relationship I was used to, so I kind of wanted to do the opposite of that, kind of reflect the experiences that I have had outside of the traditional way that I lived before. So yeah, the chorus is about that. The verses have a lot of religious theming. I think it was a subconscious effort of mine at the time to process all of the trauma that I went through and all of the indoctrination and subconscious like tendencies to act a certain way, be a certain way, look a certain way. And it was a lot. It was a lot, especially because in the LDS church, they even give you pamphlets on what you're supposed to wear, what you're not supposed to wear, what your hair is supposed to look like, and just the ideal woman you're supposed to be for a man is very male gazy. It's very thin, blonde, model, big boobs. You know, you've seen Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Like, there's a look, and that is the Mormon look. That's the expectation that they have for you, is like this unrealistic beauty standard. And I grew up always thinking that my physical appearance was not good enough, and I'm just starting to challenge that and try to feel better about myself. But yeah, it's kind of processing the pain of losing my youth to religion and to those ideas that I now realize I had a conflict with the whole time, and that it was really hard for me to accept a lot of the time, and I just forced myself to because I wanted that praise from my church leaders and my community. So in the first verse, there's a line that says, "Are my bruises from anemia or you?" And that kind of touches on my struggle with eating disorder. ED. I don't know if you're allowed to say that on TikTok or YouTube or anything, but it's like, is it from anemia or you? And I'm talking to the church at this point, just echoing on abuse that the church gives you, leaving emotional scars and bruises. Because on the line before that, I fall on my way to the chapel. That just kind of like solidifies the idea that church's abuse left marks on me. And we go back to like starving for laurels, which is like starving for praise. Also, there is a group in the church in the young women's department called the Laurels, so it's kind of like a little bit tongue-in-cheek there. And also the ED that I was talking about before comes in there as well, because I did struggle with anorexia. So it says, "Starving for laurels, but you tell me I should eat something more than leaves because I'll never be Twiggy." And it's kind of just that acceptance that like I am never going to live up to those beauty standards that once were expected of me, because I naturally am more curvy, and the only way I can be less curvy is through, you know, the eating disorders that I had experienced with excessive exercise and extreme calorie deficiency in an attempt to look perfect. But now I realize that everybody is special in their own way, and some people don't even like that look. Some people like the way that I look. Some people think that I am not good looking, and honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I just want to be able to have a good relationship with my body and even my face. I've always struggled with body dysmorphia, and even at my skinniest, I felt pretty large. And I look back at those pictures and I want to give myself a hug. I'm like, dude, you're fine. Like, please let go. Like, but it's okay. I am getting better now, slowly but surely. It's been a process, but I think life is a process, and that's kind of like what this song is really about, is like the process of healing and the freedom of letting yourself be who you are. All that being said, I am a lot more comfortable with the way that I look now, and some days are harder than others for sure, but it's not a 24/7 thing like it used to be. I try to practice body neutrality. I try to appreciate my body for being healthy rather than the way that it looks, and that has really been helping me a lot, to just remind myself that I am functional body-wise. There was a time where my knee was pretty bad just from over-exercising, and it has healed a lot, and I am grateful for that every day, and I don't want to get back into a space where I'm going to injure myself again. And so I have that as a pretty solid reminder to just kind of be more kind to myself. But then we transitioned back into the chorus, bringing the lightness back, and the second verse follows, obviously. So the second verse is a direct kind of homage to Joseph Smith, if you will, on his story where he was visited by Angel Moroni in the middle of the night, telling him that he needed to start a new religion. But instead of that, I say, I woke up next to Jesus and he started talking in his sleep and he told me I should start a new religion. And then instead of telling me that I need to, be traditional or do stuff that I don't feel myself doing, he tells me to worship the woman that I sing about. And if I worship faithfully, I'll be rewarded in the same way as Mormon heaven. And I kind of really go hard on the whole Mormonism thing, because it really was like a very foundational, big part of my life and affected me in countless ways. And so I feel like I have the right to express myself on how that affected me and made me feel inadequate for the large majority of, for half of my life. Until I left, and then continuing after that with the subconscious kind of like tendencies, and then also going back into that Christian space. It was a lot, and it took years to get to where I am right now. And it is also just a directly healing image, even though I don't believe in Jesus anymore, or believe that he is the Son of God. It's a healing image of Jesus telling me that it's okay to be queer, and I just think I needed that expression to continue my healing. It's a really empowering image for anybody who has struggled with religious trauma, especially in the queer community. And so the bridge is all about that they call it shelf breaking, when you stop believing slowly but surely. It says, I knew it wasn't real, but I thought I had it for a second. Promised paradise on earth, but there is no hell or heaven. It's just that realization. I remember when I stopped believing in God, I was driving home from LA to San Luis Obispo, so from Southern California to Central California, and I was praying and I was just pretty much begging God to give me a sign, as a lot of people do, and nothing happened, like literally nothing. And I felt like this has happened one too many times. My prayers were not answered over and over and over again, not even like the little ones. But he's really, really good at helping me find my keys. I just remember feeling like I really thought it was real. I really thought I had that for a minute, but it's just not. And that was a huge moment in my life, and I felt like I needed to add that moment of breaking and realizing that my whole life had been like pretty much a lie and a waste. I wasted my college years not having fun, not partying, not just experiencing life, because I thought I was better than that, and I thought Christians knew better than to go be young and go experience life. And I really resent that to this day. It hurts a lot when I think about it. But I just think I needed to express that anger and resentment to be able to continue life and just keep going and not feel so incredibly broken and deceived, and the word I'm looking for, just basically cheated out of life, because I was so focused on death. I was so focused on the afterlife. And that's why I throw that there is no hell and heaven in there, because I really was so focused on what was going to happen after I died, that I couldn't live. You can pray and have faith until the day that you just don't anymore. And that was my personal experience. At some point, you just start feeling like you're throwing pennies in a fountain. And so yeah, that's why I'm a little bit harsh on that part. So in the last chorus, we go back to glamour and fun, and we end on a more positive note, a encouraging note that there is positivity in life, there is stuff to look forward to, there's more out there to experience. Even though I'm older now, it's still possible, and there's just so much more life to live. So some final thoughts of mine are that what I want out of this song is for people to be able to have a bop. That's the first one. And for those who resonate with the lyrics, I want it to be something they can relate to. And if people relate to the song, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything that religion did to you. I'm in the same boat. I wrote this song for people like you, and I really want to encourage people on their healing journey, and I really want to help people on their healing journey, and if I can even do that just a little bit, that just will enrich my life and hopefully enrich yours. And if any of you have gone through this and want to chat about it, feel free to DM me and I will most likely get back to you. I love to talk to people about this stuff because it really is kind of a niche topic. It's getting less and less niche as the church kind of falls apart. Let me know if you guys saw Heretic. I really enjoyed that movie. It kind of touches on some of the same subjects and I really enjoyed it. And if you liked my song, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of it. If you haven't heard it yet, I'd love it if you would go listen to it. It is on Apple Music and Spotify and YouTube, and the link is in my Instagram bio, but you can also just look up Late Night Drives by Salt and it'll come up. I'm grateful for all your guys' support. I'm grateful for everything that I've experienced as a musician, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm trying to get to that place where I feel grateful just about life in general, slowly but surely. I hope you are all having a great day. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. I hope to see you in the next one. And if you are not following me yet or subscribing, please do.